Welcome back everyone for the next part of Limbus Company. In the last part, we started our journey in the Wuthering High. Had a little encounter with a couple of gangs in T-Corp, in which case they were really low level. I still don't understand why they would even pick a fight with us. Let's be serious. Their friends died right next to each other. They died so quickly. So freaking quickly, and none of them had the idea of, I don't know, staying away, staying out of danger. Their eyes were bloodshot. They were running out of time. I guess it's really bad if they run out of time? Huh. Nevertheless, it seems like we're about to read a letter. So without any further ado, let's see. Even though I'm pretty sure we already read that one before, right? Let's be serious. Heatcliff already kind of read his invitation. Unless, of course, there's another letter coming up? Huh. A mysterious case of missing person in the streets, shrouded in thick, heavy fog. It's almost as if we're in the middle of some scary urban legend. Not that I'm scared, of course. Not at all. Don't force yourself to laugh, Sinclair. I don't like this at all. We're just scared so soon after entering the nest. Everyone seems to be on edge, thanks to the unsettling story that we heard earlier. I know what to do. You know? Hey Heatcliff, that invitation. Can you read it out loud for us again? It's been a good idea to remind ourselves of our current mission. Besides, I could use a refresher myself. It's just an invitation. There ain't anything special about it. The neatly folded invitation Heatcliff produced from his pockets is completely betraying his attempt of appearing aloof. It was folded with such tender care that it is almost resembles a neat paper craft. He cleared his throat. Sometime later. Please honor this occasion with your presence. With great respect, Nelly. And the most important part? Bollocks. You have to be there, Heat. I'll be waiting. Katie. Damn! Oh. This wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I asked him to read the letter, but it certainly cheered up the mood of everyone. What are we? A party crowd at some dive bar or something? Oh, that wasn't what we were going for, right? I knew this would have happened. I ain't even mad. Besides, all she said is that she would be waiting. She never said she missed me or wanted to see me. Oh, come on, bud. Just look at the way she wrote it. Here. Let me see. Some sinners gathered in a circle, like they're doing a literal analysis of an invitation letter. Maybe I was worrying too much. They're like school kids opening their first love letters. What? Were you never ever interested in those things, Sinclair? I was. I was a good, diligent student. The only thing I ever cared about were my textbooks and the school lectures. Sinclair, their countenance appeared to be turning rosy again. For the last time I said it, it's genetics. What about you, Dante? Oh, never mind. Hey, what's with that odd sorry look on your face? The manager has no need for your sympathy. I'm certain that there are those who appreciate the unique appearance. Huh? Or do you mean because of... Oh... Hey guys, that clock head wasn't always there, right? He used to have a normal head at some point. At some point? And I think we're trying to get it back as well, together with his memories. If that's even possible. What would they even do then, now that I think about it? This body has not eaten for days. Questions for later, I guess. Is it not odd? What? Did someone actually wrote Heatcliff a love letter? Hey! Oh my, you sang. That's such a rude thing to say. No, I had no intention of relaying such crass sentiments to... I'm just kidding, you sang. Just kidding. I was just thinking the same thing. Since we're not looking for Lobotomy Corp branch of T-Corp, since we're heading to this Wuthering High Manor instead, I suppose that's where we'll find the Golden Burrow? That was precisely what I intended to convey, Miss Ishmael. Thank you for bringing that up. I was starting to get tired of being the bringer of unpleasant news. Hopefully, none of you are under the impression that we're heading to Wuthering High just because of some invitation that Heatcliff received, right? Because if you were, you will be sorely disappointed. Right, so if we're looking at the context that you wrote this in, what she's really trying to say here is... No, but you gotta look at the tone that you used here, okay? Sure, moving on. There was a report from the LCCB that the Golden Burrow has been observed. They narrowed its location down to somewhere within the Wuthering High Manor, but there was a significant risk. An account of the manor's unique security system that prevents the F.R.I.E.N.D.S team from conducting their on-site preliminary survey. The exact location of the Burrow is yet to be identified. Wait, unique security measure? Not sure if I remember anything like that. Right, then it's even more odd. No other way to put it. Indeed, they will remain ignorant of the momentary value and the public perception of its worth. I do know that the Golden Burrow is not an item so easily obtained that it may be housed in a normal, private manner, without abnormalities and the danger of distortion and everything else, right? It can be shared that the Golden Burrow wasn't always located inside of the manor. I see, then the Golden Burrow, its previous location is an unknown area within T-Corp's, the Lobotomy Corp branch, has been transferred to the manor for a reason that we are yet to be aware of. Right, then the Katie person will be a major part of this operation. To have a Golden Burrow all to herself in that manor. She's gotta be one confident woman too. Confident enough to believe that Heatcliff will come to the manor just to see her face, even if it wasn't for the Golden Burrow. None of this conversation seems to be even registered to Heatcliff, however. Oi, let me know if you see a barber shop or a boutique nearby. Ah, right. You still need to get the clothes, Virtuous. You promised him. You promised him that you find the clothes shop. We have to dress him up. This isn't a tour bus, Heatcliff. We will not make unnecessary stops like the one you suggest. You promised. You literally promised. Right, I get it. Then why don't you just leave me behind and go on ahead? I'll catch up. So, Heatcliff, I've been watching the shops very closely, but I haven't noticed a single open shop at all. It might be because of the rumor from earlier and, you know, the fork. Why don't you just leave it to us? Rhodey and I can... What the hell are you... No, wait! Never mind! I guess we're not about to visit a shop or a barber. We have one of the best tickets in the world, and even a big brother would fight against us. But we can't make use of it, and we can't even visit a proper shop at all. Ah, great. And now we have colors. Actual colors or the other type of colors? The person type of colors? Probably normal colors. It has to be normal colors. There's no reason for other colors to show up around here. This is not the lake after all, but then again, the encounter with the Indigo Elder was also kind of random, right? The bus emerged from the back streets into a rather quiet-looking village. The fog was still thick, and everything was still in that faded hue. Even the occasional sight of pedestrian had ceased. The very idea of color variations seemed like an alien concept here. All I see are orange-hued lights coming through the windows of misty, grey buildings. It was as though everything decided to stay indoors for the day. I can't even tell where we are, or how close we are from our destination anymore. Have you been here by any chance, he sang? He was the only other sinner who had spent a while in T-Corp, so I decided to ask if he recognizes anything, but it was evident that the scenery was unfamiliar to him. Though I have resided here for some time, most of my hours were spent earning a living and conducting my research when I could afford to do so. Thus, I have not ventured freely the streets of T-Corp. I can't imagine doing any research at a place like this, and have been easy at all with all the missing colors. It is quite manageable once one grows accustomed to this monochrome sight. The presence of variance in colors itself is a concept alien to those who are born and raised in these lands. And I had shoulders of those that I could, lean on, even for a fleeting moment. It helped to have such support when acclimating to a place as foreign as this. He then looked away to a place far beyond from here. Memories of his past, most likely. Did you ever heard anything about what T-Corp singularity is about? As all singularities are, its true nature, its mechanism, and functions are all something of an enigma, yet... He then paused and carefully began to speak. I am aware that it has aught to do with time, though I am unsure of its use. Well, I suppose all this is but a meaningless conjecture, and only Miss Faust among us must be aware of the answer. She knows about it? Its singularity is one of the reasons that T-Corp constantly drains color from the inhabitants. And why? What's time got to do with color? If the control of time is so imperative to T-Corp's operation, then they must also control the realm of light. As light inherently has much to do with the spectrum of colors, these two subjects eventually overlaps. This is as far as I could deduce regarding the concept of time that I am aware of. Yet it must also be said that it takes time for me to reach Faust-specific knowledge regarding T-Corp's singularity. Faust is known among us for her, maybe, and perhaps, rarely ever gave us an answer this detailed. Then now's the time to ask her all my questions. Miss Faust, as we discussed the subject of time, indeed, it would be safe for us to move on from the subject of T-Corp at this time. That could have been our chances to get some very important answers. Like, what's this about what Faust knows? What Faust knows? She always talks about what Faust knows, not about what she currently knows. Maybe you guys were onto something. I remember one of you guys kind of mentioned that Faust only knows the stuff that Faust knows, and that it is quite possible that she might have her memories transferred from identity to identity, that the identities share each knowledge with each other so that they have a better understanding of the city in general. It would be very interesting because, let's be serious, every time that they use their identities, the current memories are getting resetted for the memories of the ID itself. So it is plausible for them to retain some knowledge. Now, if they were to share the knowledge between each Faust, it would become possible for her to know more about T-Corp's singularity at some point, once we have an identity that actually works for T-Corp for her. Maybe this is some kind of foreshadowing that at some point, Faust is going to gain a T-Corp ID, which is another charge ID, because T-Corp is charged, right? Maybe. Would love to see it. T-Corp was really strong. Okay, but still. Dante was so happy about it. He wanted to ask so many questions. And there she goes again, teasing us with stuff that she's not going to tell us anyways. Well, I guess I should be glad that she decided to tell us this much at least. I doubt she will tell us more, no matter how much we pry. That's kinda sad, that there are people who never seen color in their whole lives, or because of the singularity and all. Well, that's just how it goes sometimes, isn't it? In the eyes of a stranger, we'll be just another one of those poor, miserable people who've never seen colors. That is the danger in trying your very first bite of the meat. You taste it once and you will never unknown the flavor. And in the end, you will start to wish you never tried it. It's pretty disappointing that even the sun loses its vibrancy here. True. Often did I long to see the colors of the sky, especially the sky that loomed over a light shower, a shower of rain, I mean. Yeah, things like the colors of the sky too. You long to see it only because you've seen its beauty. If you were born here, never to escape its border the last of your days without ever seeing the blue sky, then I would hardly call that dead miserably. Calling him dead miserable is nothing more but sheltered arrogance. I guess that could also be true. The atmosphere here in the bus suddenly became incredibly frosty. Oh hey, speaking of color, I got something to ask you. Have you guys ever heard of the color game? Apparently each type of personality has been corresponding to colors. Rhodia, who was the one to show the bus in the first place, was also the first to break the ice. If you saying enjoyed the light blue colors of the sky, then let's see. You must be a thinker and a philosopher who prefer to stay calm and quiet. Yes. How did you come up with that? It is quite a remarkable talent you have. Hark, hark! I wish my favorite color to be related as well. Forsooth, I quite fancy the color red. Nay, yellow. Nay, red. Nay, okay. Now wait your turn. Next in order is Faust. Wait up. I know exactly what you're about to say. You were about to say, Faust does not hold up such beliefs in such ideations or something like that, right? Which is exactly what people who likes the color white would say. I'm right, aren't I? Look, your hair's white too, right? I will not comment further on the subject. Me? My favorite color? What a stupid question. That's nathless. But I like... He paused. A great manor began to emerge into our view from a distance. I could immediately tell that this was the Wuthering High manor that Heatcliff had mentioned. Black. It's the color you get when you dump an entire set of paint into a bucket, ain't it? And that's exactly why I tolerated it. Kept throwing paint over paint over paint, and you get black. Simple. I can clearly hear that Heatcliff is muttering through gritted teeth. I have a feeling that black wasn't always his favorite color. Is it even his favorite color? He looked really pissed. Huh. And let's be serious. I thought the color game was about Rhodia figuring out the favorite color of everyone else. Oh. Oh well. I guess it's time for a makeover, right? Yep. Time for a dressing game. Oh god. What is this? Thunder? It's raining? Well, at the very least it seems like we are about to arrive. Two things changed the moment the Wuthering High Manor appeared over the horizon. Mirror. I need a mirror! Anyone got a mirror? Come on, guys! Anyone? Right, he's still not dressed. What has gotten into you, Heatcliff? This mirror isn't... One was Heatcliff, who was suddenly overcome with intense anxiety, and the other was the weather that grew dark and tempestuous all of the sudden. What a terrifying noise. Was the weather here always this awful? It was always this windy. Yeah, almost like a constant tempest. But this thunder and lightning? Well, the weather at Wuthering High was always this awful, thunder or not. It really is one massive manor, if it looks that big from this far away. Sharon can see well. Not sure if this is the right place, but we are here. Lightning goes boom! Eyes go ow! This manor looks as though it came straight out of a dark gothic tale, full of mysteries and everything. I was half expecting to hear a haunted cry echoing from its windows. So, I was just waiting for Virtuous to go, go off the bus again. When wasn't that been the case, Menscherbot? I mean, it's not like we're digging into Lobotomy Corp branch this time, or entering on the wings, right? It's just a manor, so I don't see what's stopping him from coming with us. Now, off the bus. Enough waste of time. Jaren and I... We'll wait outside until we are done with our mission, right? Like always. None of the sinners were hiding their dissatisfaction with Virtuous. Some of them were even standing with their arms crossed. I had a look on your faces. Clearly, you all collectively have something to say. I of course not. I would hardly ever dare to challenge thee. Well, maybe not every sinner. She already did some constellation. Heatcliff was probably not interested of picking a fight either. We've gone through a lot of things. Survived various trials and tribulation. Tribulation that could have been easily handled had Virtuous been there with us at least once, right? So, Virtuous. Looks like Ishmael decided to step up as our representative. You introduced yourself as our guide, didn't you? So what kind of guy just tosses everyone at the start of the journey and goes off on their own with the bus driver? Where are you guys even going in the first place? True. I want to make it clear that I'm not going to be a hard ass for no good reason, okay? I'm asking you because I want to trust you. After all, we're technically all in the same boat, even though now we're on the bus. We are co-workers. I would say the least you could do is to tell us where we're heading. Virtuous held his silence for a moment. His brows were not as furrowed as they usually are, which was the only indicator to me that he wasn't as offended to hear this as I thought he would be. Just like you sinners who joined this company via your individual contracts. I also signed a contract with specific clauses and conditions that I must abide by. Huh? The company made thee, a color more illustrious, sign a contract as well? Of course I did. Why would I be babysitting your children on this bus otherwise? I'm not one to work for free. I don't want to bother detailing each and every clause of my contract to you, nor should I. Probably there's another clause for that as well. But Ishmael, I quite like that you used the word trust in your speech, so I believe that you deserve at least a brief explanation. I'm not supposed to retrieve the Golden Barrel myself, nor am I allowed to provide you with any direct support. The contract stipulates that I must leave everything to the manager and the sinners. And why the hell would you sign a contract like that? As always, it's meaningless to ask me why. Contracts are rarely ever fully understood by those that are not a part of it. But what I can tell you is that when I ask your sinners to leave this bus for a mission, I suppose, in a way, I say it with a lighter heart than I used to. I'm no longer concerned that in my desire to fulfill the conditions of every clause in my contract, the manager might be irreversibly hurt. I would be left with nothing if such a thing were to happen. So you worry about us. You need us safe. It's good, Virtuous. Did he just admit to trusting us more than he used to? I guess he did. Don't make him repeat something like that, Dante. He's gonna get angry. Especially when someone went through the trouble of expressing their true, hidden feelings. Besides... Wait. I'm not going in there like this. Nope, you can't do this. Oi, turn the bus around. He's not dressed. He's literally not dressed. Maybe doesn't do U-turn. Bollocks, I ain't going back to the manor in this wicked rags. Oh yeah, right. Every single one of our elaborated plans to dress up in fancy clothes fell through. Hey, you don't really look that bad. If I go back in this rags, those bastards will. Those bastards? Who are they? Bastards that would always eye me up and down, trying to find a speck of dust, a single flaw, something to latch onto, just to humiliate me. Got out their eyes, I mean, it's as simple as that. Oh, that would be quite a clever solution. They can judge if you can't see anymore, right? Did you even... Yeah, I guess you can't really do that. Looks like Heatcliff's the only one who's taking this serious. Phew. Hello, Ordeon? Hell is wrong with that pair of you? Quit giggling like that. Well, good thing that we came prepared exactly for this occasion. I just couldn't imagine he'd managing to pull off this makeover on his own. Rhodey and I did some shopping in the back streets before we entered the nest. We were waiting to reveal these just in case there was anything more impressive in the nest. But thanks to the disappointing lack of anything even remotely interesting, we just made do with what we picked up earlier. Wait a bloody second. When the two of you went off on your own, no, what you brought back was a whole basket of cookies, wasn't it? Oh, those cookies were decoy cookies, Heat. Though some of them did end up part of my daily sustenance, of course. Well, I couldn't find the particular brands I used to back home. These should be more than enough for a proper fashion makeover. Huh. But, come on. Can't we keep this thing nice and happy for once, Let him wear something else other than his uniform. Just for the day, okay? Like, no one wants to meet their old flames while wearing their work clothes, right? Well, I doubt the guide will ever let anything like that Fine. What? I would prefer it if we didn't have to encourage another rough incident like the back doors. Seriously? Guide! Come on! Heathcliff trembled like he was about to give Virgis a big hug. Oh god, I'm not even sure. Does he want this clothes? I mean, it's better than Rex, but still. Is he going to believe Rhodey and Honglu? He is going for a hug though, so I guess he appreciates this? Now Heathcliff, close your eyes. Relax and let us take care of everything. Pretend that you're a proverbial beach blossom spring. Wait, don't touch my hair! Like, oh no. Oh no. Oi, you ain't half bad, huh? Are they doing an actual good job? Oh my god, this is adorable. This is actually adorable! Shh, Heathcliff is getting a makeover. Sometimes later. Oh. I think you might have overdone it a bit with my hair. Oh, so this is Heathcliff with combed hair, huh? This seems a bit old-fashioned though. I'm not entirely sure if that clothes set fits on him. But then again, it's certainly better than the uniform at least. And it looks kind of fancy, I guess, right? Nevertheless. Don't touch it! Do you even have any idea how hard Honglu worked on that? Where did that bat go? It's a reunion of the centuries! We can't possibly let him say hello to his old flame with a big British club in his hand, right? Sir Heathcliff appeared a tad more merciful than usual. Perhaps he shall accept my request should I implore him to purchase me a pin of ice cream. And he no longer looks like he's on the verge of punching me either, when I make the smallest of noise. I guess not. Lads, please don't bring up anything even remotely like that in front of Catherine, okay? Well, I'll be. Clothes really do make the man, huh? Do let me know how this reunion goes. I'll be looking forward to hearing that tale. Sure. Is he blood? He was blushing! He was blushing and clicked the first! So, Heathcliff, I've been meaning to ask this question for a while. I wanted to know the answer, but I couldn't bring myself to ask him. Why did you leave the Wuthering High? It's where the love of your life live, isn't it? Heathcliff, who've been busily moving about and preparing to leave the bus, suddenly come to a halt. I didn't mind it. The trashing, the starvings, the abuse, them treating me like a servant, like I'm something beneath them. I didn't mind being treated like I'm nothing more than an afterthought, like I'm some impure trash to be discarded. What? When I heard what Catherine said, I realized that I no longer had any reason to remain in that manner. What did she say? Heathcliff did not elaborate further. Perhaps it wasn't that he didn't, but that he couldn't bring himself to. I didn't dare to ask what he was about to say, so I simply nodded in response. I see. Oh, looks like Sharon got something to say about your new fit. Sharon has something to say. Something big. Oh, great, awesome. Now Sharon, what do you think? Looks oily and greasy. Sharon doesn't like greasy. It's the hair. It has too much oil. Oh, this isn't how I thought it would go. Sharon's word must have hit him hard. It took quite a bit of convincing for Heatcliff, who was severely discouraged by Sharon's remark, to exit the bus. But we don't really have more time to fix his hair. It's gonna be fine. Some people like those very shiny, stylish hair with a lot of wax and everything, right? And we're already at the front gate. Okay then. Okay, Heat, are you ready? We're about to enter. Oh, this is so uncomfortable. Oh, is it normal for these clothes to squeeze harder with every step that I take? That is what it means to maintain an air of dignity. Once you get used to that feeling, you will feel like you're missing something whenever you dress casually. So this must be the front gate to your former place of abode, Heatcliff. The massive gate alone feels downright intimidating. It's one big front door, I have to say. It is known that in certain regions of the city, the size of the front gate is an indicator of one's social standing. The magnitude of this front gate indicates that the owner of this house is very affluent. Heatcliff, you picked on Hong Lu for being a rich kid when you were raised as some huge manor yourself? Hey Ishmael, don't you remember what you said before? They treated him like an afterthought. So yeah. Being in constant contact with rich people might have made him a bit resentful of those type of guys. Maybe. I don't mind it at all. But then again, you can't really hate on Hong Lu. Sure, he might be a rich kid, but come on, he's such a nice guy. I'm feeling a bit betrayed, actually. Say, Heatcliff, thou appeared quite different today. Keep your stupid comments to yourself. Oh, come on, Heat. Some were teasing him, some were genuinely surprised, but it didn't matter to Heatcliff. Every word he spat out was dripped with venomous spite. I wasn't even remotely close to being rich. I was never once rich in this manner. I wasn't even allowed to be content, not even for a moment. In this manner never accepted me, not even for... Oh, what happened? What the hell? A lightning strike. It seems to have struck an area near the forest. Is it burning? That was loud. It's okay. I heard that it's extremely rare for lightning to actually hit a person. Are you also sure about that, Sinclair? A momentary musing reveals that the strike of levens brings about a sensation that is not unlike the joy of firework. It fills the dark and cold void of the night sky with its incandescent brilliance, even for a brief moment, before fading away into oblivion. Right, and in exchange, it loses everything it has, burning and leaving nothing but ash behind. What joy is there to be found? I could hear some forest critters fleeing, spooked by the thunderstrike. Oh, behold! A tiny squirrel is over yonder! Oh, such nature so close at home? I don't know you could use to live at such a eco-friendly place, Heatcliff. I suppose I wouldn't have to go through the trouble of building a private zoo if I lived at a place like this. You have a private zoo? A zoo, I mean? Seriously? Interesting. To have a garden or a forest so near to their home, even if we're to ignore everything else, that alone indicates that its owner is someone of unimaginable affluence. Right. And remember that Sinclair's home was in the middle of a forest too? Squirrels. Sure. There were other animals roaming about too. Sometimes, when I was so miserable that I could hardly bear to even be in that manor, I would go into the forest and not return for a long, long time. Oh, then this tiny forest friend, little Sir Squirrel, must have been quite a joyful companion for thee. Oh my god! Little squirrel! Did he get hit? The little squirrel that may once have been Heathcliff's tiny forest friend was struck by lightning. Was immediately scorched down to a pile of ash the moment it crossed over into the manor's front gate. That was a weird lightning strike. Did it just curve mid-air? The chance of such an occurrence is extraordinarily low. It might have been that I'm overreacting, but it looked as though the lightning was curving itself to strike exactly where the squirrel was standing. Yeah. Especially considering lightning usually strikes the highest point. Instead of the squirrel, it should have hit one of us. But it didn't. Oh, Heathcliff, I had no idea you grew out such a dangerous place. I'm impressed you even survived. No, Blimmy. I've not seen anything like it. Right. Heathcliff, are you ready to knock at the front gate? How do you even knock at this place? The front gate. He stared blankly at the front gate of the manor. I've not knocked on this gate in good many years. I once had to wait out here for hours because they all refused to let me in. Everyone, except of Catherine. She snuck out of the manor to open it for me, walking through the heavy rain. Well then, I'm sure it won't be different this time. So if I knock, Catherine will come out and let me in, right? Probably. Up. Heathcliff takes a deep breath before knocking at the front gate. How do you knock at the front gate like that? It's made out of fences. And I don't really see a bell either. Oh. Nothing. That's not what I meant when I said it won't be different this time. Oh. Can we just climb over the fence? I think we can clear that height as long as we're okay with breaking our ankles. Why would we break our ankles? We could just slowly go down, right? No. No? Heathcliff was a whole bundle of anxiety before he knocked at the front gate, but perhaps his perceived slight reverted Heathcliff into his usual angry self. I was invited to this manor. This invitation would be meaningless if I were to leap over the fence. True. Catherine! I'm back! Are they ignoring you once again? Continuing to shout won't... Catherine! And Ohje is calling. Despite his efforts, not even a soul stirred beyond the front gate. None of us really believed that anyone would come out to greet him. But... okay. The front gate began to creak open as though someone was answering us please. The makeover was worth it, huh? Seems like it. And I guess it wasn't ruined by all that rain. Wait a second. Purple flowers? They have some colors around here. But then again, if they have a forest, they must be rich. Nelly. Okay then. I have to say, there are a lot of book chapters though. Either way, it's Nelly, not Catherine. Wonder where that other girl is. Oh, the lightning. The poor squirrel. Oh yeah. The heavy rain and the tempest only grew harsher the closer we got to the manor. And why is that? Huh. Though we had long made it past the front gate, not a soul does appear. The bubbling excitement of the sinners when they disembarked the bus had all but disappeared. Silent air of apprehension surrounded them as they gingerly took their hesitant steps towards the manor. Catherine! Have you been well? No, Catherine! It's been a while, hasn't it? No, this isn't either. In the midst of this aura of uneasiness, only Heathcliff seems to be preoccupied by something else. The rest of the sinners were probably a bit unsettled about this whole scenario around here. Well, he is busy preparing his greetings. Oh my god, another thunder! Did you catch that? A bird. A subspecies of sparrows, to be exact. Lightning continued to strike aggressively, even this far past the front gate. It would have been burned to crisp had it struck even a little closer than this. Lightning continues to blast the earth as though it wouldn't be satisfied until it reduced every living thing in the manor's ground to a pile of ash. Is it gonna hit us if we walk faster? Or maybe it hits things that are moving too slow. Maybe we should speed up. I just don't know. Our walking speed seems irrelevant. Instead, it almost feels as if the lightning has its will of its own, striking with intent. This brings back some unpleasant memories. Or maybe it's like this house has a self-defense system? Right, the LCCDB, kind of mentioned that. A very strange security measure. Could they control weather in the city? It's certainly one way to make sure that nobody is able to cross the border. And let's be serious, the squirrel was about to get through the front gate and got struck by lightning. Maybe the lightning is a security system. Defensive system. Do you imply that this may be part of the manor's security measure? It would be reasonable to assume that, even though it's very unlikely. But the strike did have a curve back then. It hid in a curve in order to miss us and hit the squirrel. Right? Maybe it's only targeting things that enter the manor's ground without permission. I've seen security measures that are even more precise and more conclusive than this. Larger manor often do install more efficient security systems after all, right? Oh, I think our family talked about installing a defensive system at our home too. It was one of those topics that kept coming up during dinner. It would make sense. Not that I understand the thought process behind these systems. Mayhaps the security measure that prevented the before team from approaching the manor may be... Yeah, but we have the invitation with us. I think we'll be just fine. Maybe. Is it really all this is? Is this just one of those normal security measures that every rich family supposedly have? Huh. This is pretty interesting though. I heard that the technology to change the weather itself is really expensive to the point of being inefficient. So expensive that I've not seen it myself. So it is a thing. I remained silent because I didn't want it to concern the sinners with something that I wasn't sure about. But the closer we got to the manor, the more confident I became that something was off. That this extreme abnormal weather isn't the work of some security system. This absolutely has something to do with the Golden Burrow. But this Golden Burrow feels different from the one we've encountered before. It's a bit more chaotic. These flowers. They've got colors. Sinclair was right. The manor's garden was lightly littered with colors. They were the only thing of color in this dairy site. I wonder what these flowers are called. I guess you can return the colors even to flowers if you cover up enough cash, huh? Indeed. Then the proprietor of this manor must have held a particular love for these flowers. To return the colors to such transient things as flowers. Or perhaps it may simply be that they possibly affluent. Heatcliff quietly gazes at the patches of violet flowers as he sang mused out loud. Something up with the flowers that you want to talk about? Yes, you're wrong. There was no particular love for these flowers. There was no room, no warmth in that heart to spare for mere flowers. Heatcliff appeared to be doleful that it felt as though he had built a tall, opaque wall between himself and the world. I could not bring myself to ask further. Okay. He did not tell us the name of those flowers either. Oh my! Please come this way! And I guess now somebody arrived. Someone hurriedly runs this way from the manor's front door, holding a lantern. Okay. What an awful weather, huh? Well, the Withering High Manor is rarely ever sunny, but this is quite the storm. Long time no see, Nelly. Oh my words! Heatcliff, is it you? It really is you! Yeah. He's blushing again! This is so cute. You haven't the slightest idea how worried I was since you left. Have you been eating well? You've not been bullied by a rough crowd, have you? And somebody's actually worried about him? I thought nobody cared about you, Heatcliff. Your description was really clear about that. Bullied by... what? Oh, we've wanted to hear from you for so long. Oh. You come in now. Come in. This Nelly regarded us with a curious look, as though she didn't quite understand what we were supposed to be. It may be so bold as to presume. Would you be our dear Heathcliff's friends? Yeah, well, friends? Are we? The answer to that question hinges on the range of affinity one would define as a delineation that separates friend from acquaintance. 'Cause we're friends! Racist friendships, fortune fires, multiple fires of constant balance after all. Your dear Heathcliff's precious friends are about to freeze to their deaths in the rain, woman. My, what honorable guest I'm welcome to this place today. I must be all over the place to leave you all standing in the rain. Come in now, come in. It's a tad warmer in there than in the outside. True. The interior of Wuthering High was rather dark, yet... This manor! Dost thou have colors? We have some colors again! Its hue appears a tad fade from its original vibrance at least, but there was color in this manor. That's good. That's really good. No, it's really red. Red and blue? I guess it kind of works. What did I tell you? I could see colors inside this manor. Well, it's all brought by money, anyways. Believe it or not, there's something about these lanterns hanging about the manor that brings back colors. So light brings back other colors? House did mention that the color thing is related to light. Interesting. Very interesting. The lanterns that return the object's original saturation. They're quite expensive luxuries, are they not? It still doesn't bring all the color back. Things still remain a tad gloomy. So, where's Kathy? Heathcliff, please tell me of your life since you left us, huh? Where have you been staying? Have you been eating well? Hey, have you lost weight? I'm glad your delay wasn't so substantial. We've all been waiting for your arrival. We? Now let me get a better look at you. The refined dress clothes, the hair. My, you certainly grow into a right proper gentleman, haven't you? Oh, quite a popular lad you are, with a pose of friends and all. Well, did I? Oh god, he's blushing a lot in this chapter. I see. But of course, I would not have recognized you from a distance. Nelly was talking so fast that Heathcliff wasn't spared even a second to get a single word out. Nelly, was it? What is your precise relation to Heathcliff? As his precious friend, colleague, comrades in arm. I cannot help but be curious as to how you two know each other. Otis, who was conspicuously scanning the interior of the manor, suddenly asked Nelly the most transparent, suspicious questions that I've ever heard. Let's see, Heathcliff's, how should I put this? Nanny, I guess. Nanny? Okay. What, like, you wiped Heathcliff's snot, changed his baby clothes or something? And am I thinking of the right nanny? But she looks so young. Huh. And when the babies fuss about the food, the nanny spoon-feeds it to him. Oi, Nelly, quit teasing me like that. You weren't exactly my nanny, and you know that. We've known each other since we were both young. And I did not treat her like a servant or followed her around like she was my nanny. Oh, mind you, I'm now the chief butler of the house. You must see the other butlers moving about like soldiers when I give a word. Oh, cool. Well, you were the best at your job. Nelly, I'm getting quite impatient, so I've got to ask. Heathcliff must have been wanting so badly to ask her where a cave he was. So, when's the banquet starting? Instead, he hides his true questions behind a mask of aloofness. But why does that look? Nelly's expression became somewhat odd upon hearing Heathcliff's query. The banquet.
Oi, when's that witless Bridget coming? Is he even on his way?
Who's that now?
You can just leave after gathering us all down here. If I have to sit any longer next to these mugs, I'm going to lose it.
There were some furious voices echoing from down the hall. Nelly, wait. I recognize that voice. My, don't rush. He's just arrived, mind you. Let's join the others, Heathcliff. Like I said, we've all been waiting for your arrival. Heathcliff bit his lips anxiously and followed Nelly. This doesn't feel all like a manor that's about to throw a party, so no wedding. It's a funeral after all? Yeah, that cruise ship party, this manor. You can't hide the rising tension of dread coming from a place like this. It doesn't matter how hard you try. This manor does not appear to have been a place where liveliness is an expected element. I see signs of rushed cleaning, conducted immediately before the guest arrived. Several cracks and areas in need of repair have been identified as well. Is this manor falling apart? Also, I was scant expecting a raucous party, yet this is quite a depressing presentation. I followed Dawn to the halls. She appears terribly disappointed. I mean, technically speaking, there's still a dinner waiting for us. All things considered, right? And there are other guests as well. Somebody's waiting for us, I guess. A warm reception, somebody's certainly waiting for us. Huh. Oh well, Gregor, I guess they need to get rid of the party dress after all. I guess the wedding dress is not needed. This area. You could still wear it as a funeral dress if you painted black or grey. But I don't really think that you would do that to your beautiful dress, right? Nobody would do that to this beautiful dress. Nevertheless, I would say this is a perfect moment to make a little cut. After all, I already saw my time. It's so difficult to say with those chapter links, right? With the bookmarks, it's always difficult to tell if the chapter is going to be long or short. But it's pretty clear. In the next part, we're going to have the actual reunion with the manor itself. And we will figure out who was screaming in the background. I hope you guys had fun with today's part. And see you next Monday. Until then, bye bye!